friends, this is Griselle with Psychic MD for another shadow work episode. Am I calling it episode? No. Shadow work reading. And it's going to be mini edition, so not super long. But we're going to explore today what shadow work will unlock the greatest progress for you. We're also going to explore how you should do this and practical applications. And if you do the work, what is the final outcome? Because it's all contingent upon us actually moving and acting and doing. Sorry, my dog decided she wanted to visit for their reading. And she does always have the last word. So without further ado, this is going to be pile number 1. And we have pile number 2 and pile number 3. I'll see you at your reading. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose this card, this pile, then this is your reading. Now, we're going to go in pretty deep, and why is my brain so in the gutter? And the reading will go pretty fast. So, if you're really into doing shadow work, I suggest you grab a little notepad and see what Spirit has to say for you. I also wanted to mention, I've been getting questions. So this ring I got from an Etsy shop called YuMor, YU space MUR. And now you can't find it on Etsy anymore because apparently there's a cancel culture with Etsy. So the shop's owner's name is Yulia, Y-U-L-I-A, I believe. And you can find her on Facebook. So again, the shop would be YuMor, Y-U-M-U-R. So she also did this other phenomenal piece that I've been obsessed with. So if you like unique things, that's where to get your stuff. If you message her on Facebook. All right, so here we go. These messages are so deep that I'm going to actually have to read from the book. I was not intending on that, but you'll hear why in just a moment. So for group number 1, we have Faceless Ghosts and the Haunted Girl. And that's ghost people. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I just had to shut the door because it's distracting. So first thing I notice is the number 3. Okay, for me it's all about creativity, cooperation, collaboration, which is interesting. You'll see why in a moment. Then I've got the number 4. This is about balance. And this is about sort of a nod to the Emperor and the typical tarot, and that's a little bit like I make the rules, my way or the highway. This is how things go. I know what is best for everybody, including you. It could be a little bit of dogma. So we're going to explore this a little bit more. So it says, in this beautiful card, a lovely girl in the bare woods is being moved on by 2 masked ghosts. They do not reveal their identity, but she can feel their presence strongly. She remains calm as she knows who they are. They are the Noperabu. I probably said that wrong, but we're here. The faceless ones who have no features and who take on the form of others around them. They wear a variety of masks, and they regularly take up a new cause or identity without being aware of their own need to grow and learn themselves. Because of this, they seek out energy from others who are bright, strong, and real. Now they seek out hers, and it is likely that they are seeking yours. Do not go into fear. They're sending her messages, but she knows that they're not what they seem, and there are many like them in this world. So the haunted girl speaks. These faceless ones are coming to me, trying to take advantage of what they see as my moment of weakness, but I do not fear them, as I know that they are blank, formless, and simply taking on energy they can find. I know who I am, and I clearly see what they are not. And I clearly see what they do not. They're simply spirits who have lost their way and also feed off of others. I may not be my strongest at this time, but I'm stronger than they ever will be. They do not feed off of me, for I know who they are and what it is they seek. I do not wish them harm, but neither will I give them my energy. I'll also warn you to do the same. You may seem in need of help to people who actually have an agenda at the moment. Do I need to repeat that? You may need to seem to be in need of help to people who actually have an agenda at the moment. People around you are acting like experts and supporting each other in the group mindset and wanting you to join them for your own good, quote unquote. Despite your misgivings, they either do not fully have formed identities or they're too easily taken on beliefs or ideas of a powerful other. You may be asked to join with others in the belief and be alarmed at the mindset and belief system that seems very blank and faithless, devoid of human joy and warmth. It is wise for you to keep your own counsel. Remain detached at this moment and wait for the faceless ones to reveal themselves. They will change even when a more powerful person for them to attach to comes along. Know that until they find their own selves, they commit to the following path, they'll be as blank pages, written upon by whatever hand comes near them. Do not be like this. Make your own mark on this world. There could be imitation taking place, where your work or ideas or even your personality is being copied too closely. And so for my pile number 1, the first thing that I was thinking when I initially chose this card, or this card came up, is, you know, they're faceless ghosts. It's almost like these people are whitewashed. And I think about that one verse where it talks about their whitewashed tombs. It's actually in the Bible, but don't judge me too harshly just yet. I just want to say that there's people that are kind of like morphing around you, trying to imitate you, or, you know, take on like your best qualities. It's almost like you're a cellular battery and other people are trying to plug into you. Now, I feel like this is in the 3D, in this realm and dimension, or perhaps you do your nails a certain color, a certain way, you wear a certain kind of jewelry, or certain style, or even your mindset, or you've taken to blogging or creating a channel, and other people think that's a great idea, I'm going to do the same thing, and they start basically plagiarizing, with, you know, stealing ideas or stories that you wrote, whatever the case may be. So it is that thing that makes you the most unique and authentic that draws people, but also it draws people that are formless, shapeless, and really blank pages. And I love how the book states it's waiting for any hand that comes by to write in them. So protect your energy, protect your ideas at this point in time. I also feel like some of you guys are in touch with the other side as well, and you could really have other beings, you know, from the other side trying to plug into you. You could be actually like a budding medium, or you could be a full-fledged medium. I don't know your life, you know your story, but this can really, okay, I'm getting a lot of energy on the right side of my crown chakra, and I feel like if you are, you know, if you experience things like night terrors and even some dreams that are just off or weird or leave you kind of feeling a certain way, or if you have that gift where you wake up and you see things, or you see things in general that your typical person on this earth doesn't see, then you're obviously a medium or psychic in some sort of way. Now, this can be, you know, really jarring for those of us that have not had an experience with it, or those of us that don't even want that kind of thing in our lives. But there could be beings on the other side that are plugging into you because you are that light, literally in the darkness, and they know that you can see or hear or feel them. And I know it sounds weird, but even taste is affiliated with the other side. For example, my grandfather, the few times he's actually visited, I could smell the cigarette he was smoking, and I can taste the chiclets. And forever, he just smelled like cigarettes and chiclets, okay? So that's just how it was. And so anything like that, that is just different than what other people sense. You could be that light that draws people and other entities from the other side that simply want to communicate. And so it's going to be important for you to stay, okay, this is my bedroom. You're not allowed at any point in time. This is my sacred space. Unless I call you or acknowledge you, you're not allowed to bring any messages or disturb my sleep, things like that. So learning to really put up really good barriers And boundaries is going to be critical for you, because otherwise you will not get the sleep that you need. And I speak from vast experience on this, and I still struggle with putting up my boundaries in the 3D and with the other side, just so you know. So, okay, that was deep, but let's see what shadow work will involve the greatest progress for you. So it's dealing with this. I feel like boundaries with the 3D and boundaries with the other side as well. And then how should you do this? Okay. How should we do the shadow work, please? For my pile number 1, show me now. It's funny because I saw that at the bottom of the deck and it came back up for you, so I definitely know it is your message. So we have the 4 of Earth. It's about keeping things to yourself, not being quite so generous, so open, maybe waiting to make sure that other people prove themselves before you readily give up yourself or give up your ideas, or even share what projects you're involved with too quickly. It's going to be important for you to really observe, and if people, and I don't almost even want to say it this way, but if people jump on the Me Too wagon, and I know that that could be triggering for a lot of people, it's just the way it's coming up, but the Me Too movement, obviously we all know you know what that is all about. So I definitely don't, and perhaps you're being someone who has been abused, you know, sexually, emotionally, spiritually, whatever the case may be. But I feel like that could be actually a recurring theme, where this could be a form of abuse that you are actually used to, that people just take. They don't ask. They kind of help themselves to whatever. They just come into your home and don't ask if you're, if it's okay to come over or whatever. And this includes people that are like, with offers. And this is my pet peeve is, what are you doing on Friday night? I'm like, don't ask me what I'm doing. Say, hey, I'd like to take you out on Friday night, and this is what I have in mind. Are you available? No? Okay, great. Then we can reschedule. But those, I feel like it's a bear trap when people say, what are you doing on, I don't know, January the 15th, and they want to spring things on you. I think that's just not a great way to foster something balanced. People should really be transparent in their motives. And the what are you doing on Saturday doesn't really tell me what your motives are. It just, it seems like cornering a person. I don't like it personally. So you may want to, and you may have issues with dealing with boundaries also. And so some of these things can also be like things from your past that are coming back to kind of haunt you and repeat themselves. It could be things and voices that you see imitated from what transpired a long, long time ago. If that's your story, that's your story. If it's not, just take what works and leave what does not, okay? So how should you do this? So I have here the Hermit, and this is about going deep within. This could also be a Virgo card. It is the number 9, and I just want to point out that the number 9 is almost like nearing the end of a cycle. Now here with this Hermit card, we have 5 keys, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right here, these numbers add up to a 7, and that to me indicates like spiritual balance. It's just a very spiritual number, and I feel like this is you ascending a major, major hurdle in your life. Now there is a need to shun other people out, not allow people close, not allow people, especially in your ear, to pull on their own agenda. And this is a time to be a little bit suspicious, not to get you paranoid, but to go ahead and wonder, okay, well, what is their agenda when they ask me, am I available Sunday? That's such a weird statement to make, because it could be like, yeah, I'm available, and they're like, oh, good, then you can, help, wash somebody's car, I don't know, or yeah, I'm available, and they're like, oh, I can take you to dinner. I mean, it's just so weird. It doesn't allow any room there. So I feel like there is any room for a real choice almost. So I always look at those offers with suspicion, by the way. Don't come at me like that. That's coming at me sideways and weird. So this right here tells me there is a need for you to go within. Perhaps you're already going within. You're realizing that you're not giving much to other people. But this is a confirmation for some of you that are already doing the work. Go within and figure out, okay, well, these people are coming towards me and they're offering me help, and is there merit to it? Or try to figure out what is their agenda, because there is power in numbers, and perhaps they're enlisting your friend group or other people to kind of get you on board with their agenda. So it's going to be really important that you remain authentic and your most true self. Otherwise, you're going to get waylaid and detoured. And I feel like if you write down a couple of instances where your journey, your travels went differently than what you wanted, or you found yourself in a situation that wasn't the best for you, and it cost you time, energy, effort, blood, sweat, tears, or it cost you a couple of years of setbacks, or, you know, and not saying that all of our decisions, we don't learn from them, but it does mean that perhaps you had a journey and agenda and other people were in a different path and you got waylaid. So I would explore those cycles, write those down, and take a look and say, yeah, you know, when I came into this partnership, this friendship, this situationship, or relationship, all of a sudden, you know, they wanted to go, for example, to medic school, and that was their focus, and so all of a sudden that was my focus too. Or they were in the armed forces, and then all of a sudden, you know, I was traveling with them and doing what it is that they have to do or supposed to do, and I kind of lost my mojo to do my own thing, whatever that is. So again, keeping things to yourself, writing down things that when you feel like you kind of veered off a different path and whatnot, I would just kind of write those things down, write down at least 4 of them. And I think that you'll be able to see that these were people that had their own agendas, and kind of you allowed, or it just happened, whatever the case may be. We all learn from experiences, but I feel like these are going to really help unlock. And I think with the number 4 also, you'll have 4 things to really unlock, realizations to have. And if you notice, this key, this very last one, is different. I feel like this last key will actually unlock that door and allow you out of hermit mode, so that you feel actually safe, so that you can see clearly. Ask your spirits and guides and God and whomever it is that you pray to or observe, whatever you want to call that, for help and assistance, because these are clearly something that's going to be deep and helpful to you. I didn't know this reading was going to go on forever, so sorry. Okay, so the Hierophant. So number 5, this is key number 5 as well. And the Hierophant is all about change. It's about commitment. It's about tradition. But look at her. She's all about her personal power. And it's like, okay, I have all these tools. I know how to commit. I know how to give emotionally. I know how to use the power of the word. I know how to illuminate my own path. I know how to commit to a cause or a situation or a person. I have no idea what this is. And so I feel like this is just setting yourself up to really be solid in your own power. That's going to help you to feel empowered, first of all. These 2 ghosts would never be able to approach this person here, because she is using all of her intuition, all of her own personal downloads. Again, your crown chakra, you could be getting a lot of downloads and messages from the other side of yourself. And I feel like with the lunar phases, you might notice that you're even more in tune at certain times than other times. So I feel like this could be just really committing to a new path, or committing more firmly to your own path, and keeping out toxicity or vapid people, or people that have no identity and just want to spend time with you to really suck off your energy. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, you are very tender-hearted and can allow people just out of sympathy, or not even like, I mean, I've had that, I've done that. I've had, you know, people around me that I've allowed close, and then I just because they want to be close, not necessarily because I felt that closeness with them, and it just wind up being kind of a energetic pull and a little bit disastrous. So that is food for thought. So those are your practical applications, going within, writing down your list of cycles to help you see a lot clearer, but also write down 4 things that it is that you really stand for, what it is that you want, where you want to be headed. For example, if you want to accomplish going to school, if you want to travel, or if you want to make that bread, whatever the case may be, write those down, and then see if what is around you, who is around you, has the same agenda, or it is like a mutual facilitating each other, okay? Because I feel like at this point, people that want to morph into you wind up wanting to be you. It's just not healthy. They could be cutting their hair and doing their hair exactly like you and things like that. And those are just obvious red flags, okay? One last message for my pile. Number 1, if you do the work, what is the outcome, please? Show me now. Versatility, baby. You're going to be super flexible. You're going to see that even sometimes if we're on a path and it doesn't appear to work for us, that we can switch gears, okay? You're going to be a lot more flexible. But I also even feel like this person is kind of like scorpionic. Is that a word? So I feel like you could be moving silently through the shadows and doing whatever it is that you need to do in order to accomplish your goals and things like that. But I do feel like you have the ability to turn around and sting and keep people at bay if you need to, because it is a mode of like a time where you're protecting your dream, your star, your wish, your ultimate attainment, okay? So again, this might take you down a rocky path where you don't have like a lot of people around you, or you don't feel a lot of social support, and right now everything that you need is within you. It'll cause versatility, open up versatility. And also number 3, again, it'll help bring about people that really want to cooperate with you, and allow things to shine. I think people with similar vibe, your tribe, and things like that with similar goals, and also allow for the sun, for things to be seen clearly, not so much shadow energy. So this is a clarity. If you do that work, you're going to be a lot more versatile than you actually expect, okay? And I think that people could feel, or you think that maybe people would be like, but that's so mean. Well, you know what? Look at this person's face. You have to be a little bit mean to protect what is yours. If you won the lotto and won, let's say, $5,000, and everybody knew around you, and then all of a sudden people started coming over and, hey, can I borrow this? Well, you have it, I know you do. I mean, you have to protect your own resources and be wise about that, because there is no end of need in this world and no end of takers, okay? So it's one thing if you're sharing resources and really collaborating and have like simpatico energy between you, but it's nothing just to use people and rip off their energy, ideas, or whatever. So I hope you know what I'm talking about. If this reading does resonate, if you like these type of shadow work things, please do smash that like button, share, comment, subscribe. Do share it with other people that you think might benefit from this, and any comments, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and namaste. Hi, pile number 2. If you chose this pile, this reading is for you. We are going to read from the book because I did that for pile number 1, so I want to keep things consistent. But I want you to observe this beautiful card. Look at this sea storm. There's so much emotion. Like, emotion rocks the ocean, right? Sea storm, calm amid chaos. So it is a number 32. 3 again is for creativity, for throwing in your lot together, collaboration, things like that, and 2 is about your personal power. So we'll see where this goes. I want to read this direct from the book. And so this is answering what shadow work will unlock the greatest progress for you. It says, even though the seas are wild and the atmosphere is torn with stabs of lightning, and there is no land in sight, the sea storm being is following her intuition, and she will know what to do to make it home. Lightning won't strike her, and she'll keep swimming until she reaches land. She seems slightly in a trance and is using her inner wisdom and deep knowledge to swim home. She is from Atlantis, where she saw beings doing things that would lead to destruction. She has seen how their hubris led to upheaval, and her home has sunk under the waves. She now goes out in search of her new home, so you can too. So maybe you're looking for a new home. So this could be work or your actual home, your domicilio, where you reside. So you're surrounded by storms, wild moments, and a great deal of emotional drama at this time. The world you know may be changing and is almost unrecognizable in ways. There's destruction behind you and you have left it in the past, but you are still searching for your new home. You'll find it if you turn inwards and listen to the inner knowledge that will send you in the right direction. Don't look with your eyeballs, but look. You are a shapeshifter, and you are able to make it through this time with no land, no home, no apparent rescue, by trusting that you will make it. This is a time of upheaval and great change, but if you tune into the deep inner voice and follow the radar you've built out of your very soul, you will find the new way home through all this chaos and wreckage. The old world is gone, the new world is yet to be found. The journey will continue for some, but trust. Trust and follow the compass of your inner guidance. Listen, check in with your wisdom, and then go in that direction. You're more adaptable, more flexible, more able to survive than you know. Interest in the lands of Lemuria and Atlantis and memories of these lands may be resurfacing. So, the one thing that I have to say and I need to acknowledge, especially because of this whole, current events, this is a timeless reading, but currently, the whole thing with Russia and the Ukraine has really, what do you say about that? I mean, there just are no words. There's nothing I can say, okay? But I do want to say that everyone has been affected, and I do have, for example, someone that I buy jewelry with, pieces like this, and other pieces that if you've been around, you've seen before. This one as well. And her shop is called YuMor, YuMor, I think. But anyway, she is a Russian creator, and she has experienced the repercussions of cancel culture. And I just want to remind people, this is, some things are just greater than us. So the person that sunk this person's ship, or the people, or the cause, or the agenda, whatever the case may be, she didn't have any say-so in her ship being sunk. It was just done to her. And so I think about all the people in the Ukraine, like suffering hardships and the loss of lives and needing to run away and things like that. And I feel a lot of energy about that in this reading. So even if you're not from the Ukraine, experiencing war and dealing with issues like refugees and trying to find shelter and food and having lost everything at this point in time, and if you have, I am so sorry. Like, there's no words, no comfort to you. My heart goes out to you. Other people in this pile number 2, I feel like, could experience the same thing, could feel that feeling of loss, of homelessness, of not belonging, of having perhaps like things like your home repoed, or your car, or both, and just a general feeling of instability. And so the biggest shadow work that's going to create the biggest progress for you is learning how to tune into your own intuition, because there's a lot of emotion, a lot of storms around you. It's going to be really important that you plug in and you breathe deeply and you focus on what it is that you hear within yourself. And so fear is so contagious. Fear is more contagious than anything out there today, I'll tell you that, including all these things that you see on the news and whatnot. And there is no protection against fear unless you really seal off your energy and protect your energy, and not try to absorb and entertain other people's fears at this time. Obviously, you have your own fears to deal with. I'm even seeing like this, to me, looks like a dagger of sorts. So it could be that you are in fear of your life in some way. For some of you guys, this could be people that are involved in domestic violence, and if that's the case, definitely please get help. That is super scary. So I would say, yeah, that there's just a lot to unpack here, and this goes really, really deep. And if that's your situation, then obviously your storm is needing to get away, finding safety, finding shelter, and finding the ability and the help to do it, but you feel completely alone. And I've been in situations like this before where I felt like there was no one to help. no one to rescue everywhere you look, and perhaps you can't even say anything. It's like you're on the verge of like telling people, look, I need help, but you are not able to at this time for whatever reason. So it's important to tune in to your own voice on the inside, and we're going to look at practicals. The thing right here, I was just shuffling and I'm looking at how should you do this, okay? And this is once again listening, by listening to your own intuition, by getting downloads, by going with your gut feeling. If you know that you're in danger and you're in a dangerous situation, don't take any risks, any chances. It's better to abandon everything and leave and escape with your life than have an issue with, God forbid, loss of life or something like that. I mean, we definitely want you safe, but I feel like this is you listening in, tuning in on your intuition, and even asking for a balance and a wisdom, and allow anything that needs to come to you through, and just know that what you'll be listening to is your higher self, your intuition, and downloads from spirit. That's going to be the most helpful for you. I think that also, I see this little conch on the third eye right here. To gain more clarity, I would say drink a lot more water as well. I think you may have some, a lot of confusion, mostly because of what you see and feel around you, and perhaps even like imminent danger as well. That's going to put us into a flight or fight mode as well. And so I'd rather see you guys leave than have to stay and fight whatever this scenario is. But there might be a help to you in decalcifying your pineal gland. I always say that word wrong. I apologize if I did again. But anyways, so, you know, in your third eye, there is crystals. You can actually look that up for yourself, and that is part of why it has been the target and the source of many junk. I heard junk science. Many junk things that are thrown into our water system, things like that, like fluoride or whatever. And it's funny because the very people that talk about like junk science or pseudoscience are the very ones that actually fabricate and band together to really make a narrative and an appearance and propaganda and commercials and all the stuff of what is really good for you, when in reality it is not. It is a sale. And it is an agenda. So why is the third eye so important? That's where you get your downloads, and you connect from spirit, and you're able to see beyond the veil of bullshit. Okay, just calling it what it is. If this resonates, then I would say cut off all fluoride products, including toothpaste, anything in your water, things like that. Discontinue all of that, and drink a lot of water, and use maybe tamarind or tamarind paste or tamarindo. That can help with that as well. Lemon water would be good as well, just for general cleanse. I see a natural lemon here, and cleansing and detoxing in this way is going to really help purge things out of your system. Tapping is going to help you to kind of relieve some fear. If you know about tapping, it's kind of like tapping like this on your meridians. You can look that up as well, and that would really help to balance you out and help you to be able to be in the here and now, not so much in fight or flight, but to be able to see things clearly. Okay, so I am wishing you much clarity and wisdom at this time. Listening to your intuition again. My other dog is knocking. Okay, so I'm going to say that you're definitely not sleeping well. Maybe sleeping with one eye open, feeling like all these thoughts come and go, and they circle around you in a never-ending dance. It's like these doves or birds or whatever they are continue circling, and there's going to be thoughts of how to leave, how to be a rescue. Should I share this with so-and-so? Will they betray me? Is it safe to share my information with other people so that I can get the help I need? Things like that. Do I just up and leave? Where do I go? All of these thoughts that are just like bogging you down. There's a deep fog. You could actually have a lot of brain fog around you, just an inability to think clearly. And again, I think drinking water and things like that are going to be really helpful to you. So I do want to say that you are standing on a solid rock. You're trying to gain a higher perspective. And it's going to be important to do some breath work. I feel like this is where our breath gets really trapped into our chest, and we are shallow breathers. We don't breathe deep from within the gut, the stomach. Things like that could be really helpful, is doing some breath work, doing some tapping as well, tapping of the meridians to really kind of reset and balance you out, getting grounded and getting your feet into some grass or communing with Mother Nature. Another way would be, well, I would suggest like getting some sun at this point in time. Do it responsibly, like, you know, first 15 minutes of the day and last 15 minutes of the day you can get your downloads and things like that. So you don't want to like fry yourself out in the sun, obviously. But the Nine of Air is kind of a culmination of things, and being like repetitive thoughts and being really angry and mean with yourself about your own thoughts as well. So you could be having your own mind turn against yourself. It's going to be really important that you even write down the source of, like, for example, you're like, well, I can't do it, and I'm just a girl, or I'm just a young person, or whatever case may be. All of those doubts, or like, I never plan well, or I don't have my own money, or I don't have resources, things like that. I would say, even if you can, write down like who has told you this, or where you got these ideas and notions. On the other side of the page, I would just write down validations, like, okay, well, I don't have resources, and then you can write down like 3 resources that you do have. Okay, I can, you know, A, B, and C, whatever those resources are. And then look at the other one, well, I never plan well, and then write down the instances that you did plan well, because using absolute and blanket statements are part of this problem. Also, harsh words like, you're so stupid, I'm so dumb, and I can't believe I put myself in this situation, or whatever the case may be, those can be written down as well. And on the other side of the page, you can write down, you know, I'm super intelligent, I'm able to see exactly where it is that I'm at, I'm seeing exactly the condition of things around me, and I can sense the mood. I feel like you are very in tune with spirit, in tune with your own intuition. You could even be a psychic, getting downloads and stuff. You can even pick up subtle hints from other people and messages. You don't have to be psychic to be able to pick up on social cues, or even you know, looking at how people's eyes dilate when they are near you, or people clenching their jaw or their fists, things like that. I feel like you are very astute, and I think that you need that support yourself right now, and the fact that you want to counteract whatever it is that the negative messages you're telling yourself. Okay, so that's a lot of anxiety, and it keeps blowing up. It's like these birds multiply the more we entertain those thoughts, and I am a fine one to talk. This is something I need to actually do myself. So you could write down 9 things that cause you anxiety, that wake you up at night. Write those things down, because seeing them on paper sometimes, then you can see, it's like, okay, well, what can I do about this? Is this real, or was this spoken to me by somebody else and projected? Things like that. So I hope that was helpful. Those are your practical applications, is to really look at those with a sober eye, getting them down on paper, and then on the other side, counteracting. I just had major ear pressure go in my left ear, so I feel like some of you guys are like, I don't want to hear this, I don't want to write nothing down, or whatever the case may be. For one of you, I feel like maybe your eardrum has been punctured by domestic violence, or affected your hearing in some way, and if that's the case, that's awful. Again, I just beg you to get some help, because that does not improve. The situation does not improve. No material, anything is worth your personal safety. Okay, so I heard also somebody's hearing has been damaged by a gunshot, like just being in close range without ear protection. So that's for someone. Okay, so those are your practical applications. And then check this out. What is the outcome if you do the work? You get the Magician. You are the master of your own life. You can and will be once again within this sea, but it's a sea of possibility. It is also these ripples is like one little act, or a change of a mindset, or eliminating, let's say, even 3 of these birds, will give you so much more peace. You'll be able to have clarity. Look at how intense this person's eyes are riveted. It's like, I see you, pile number 2. I know what you're capable. I know your worth. Other people know your worth, even though they might want to suppress and drown you and steal your power or destroy it out of jealousy or control. I don't know. So this person, I feel like you have a lot of experience under your belt, and this would allow you to be able to move from the 9 to the 10, which would reset to a 1. And this is all about manifesting a new life for you. It's going to be really important for you this time, and I think practical application is writing down affirmations. I do have a safe place to live. I do have a beautiful home, whatever that looks like to you. I don't care if it's like camping and or in a trailer, being surrounded by the ocean, or be surrounded by the woods, or whatever the case may be for you, or renting a room in a safe home, in a place that you just energetically vibrate with people that reside there as well. Whatever the case is, you can actually have safety, you can have clarity, you can have your personal power back, okay? So this is where you gain your power. This is where you say, okay, this is a new beginning, this is a new me. I see you clearly past, and I see what's been done. I see what I've allowed. I see my part in it. I also see the other people's parts. Maybe perhaps you draw a lot of narcissistic people to you. Been there, done that. I totally get it. But I feel like you're going to be kind of like shrouding yourself a little bit, doing some inner work, and seeing the ripple effects of even working on clairaudient. Okay, so hearing keeps coming back, and I don't know why. So clairaudient could be something that you are really, really focused on. You could also be cutting down salt and things like that to balance your equilibrium if you are having balancing issues or whatever the case may be. But it will be a ripple effect that will open up a lot more of your clairaudient and empower you to create the life that you actually want, and actually bring you the dreams that you want. I want peace. I want a great partner. I want somebody who supports me, who loves me, who doesn't abuse me. And this is perhaps on the top of your mind with the sun. It is possible. The sun is the other half of the moon in some ways, I think. So without the sun, the moon really wouldn't be much, and vice versa. And so I feel like you definitely have on top of your mind, you could even be a Leo, clarity of what it is that you want. So again, you do have the power. It resides within you. Writing simple things like, I navigate through life smoothly. Things come to me easily. Abundance is mine. I receive assistance and help from everywhere. I am divinely protected. I am protected from everywhere and everyone. I have the ability to protect myself. I also have the ability to trust myself and know that what I see is accurate. That sometimes we see shenanigans in other people, or people that have red flags and danger all around them, and yet they talk us out of what it is that we see, and we doubt ourselves. We're like, maybe that's just me, or I'm fearful, or I'm too doubtful. No, they're narcissistic, they're dangerous, and it doesn't have to be even like a dramatic danger. It could just be like toxic for you. And I used to say, who doesn't like drinking a little bit of poison? Well, that tells you the state of my mind at that point in time. So you're going to be able to see with a lot more wisdom and clarity and navigate your own path. And I think this is a really, really powerful place to be in. Write down what it is that you want, even 4 things that it is that you want, your dreams. And that is going to really be helpful, as well as, again, listening to yourself, your gut instinct, your intuition. Do you know that we are the only animal on earth that senses and feels danger, and we're the only ones that talk ourselves out of it? We're like, oh, you got to be nice, you'll hurt their feelings, you'll look weird, what'll people think? No, every other animal on this earth bolts, whether it's a deer, whether it's a cat, a dog. They will just take off and not even think about it. They don't care what other people think, what you feel about them. If you laugh at them, they do not care. And I feel like this is the message, is don't care about other people. They are not you. In the end, nobody is going to try to live your life or try to make things better for you or even understand anything. This is your own private battle, and I feel like you see things really clear. So once you get out of whatever this is and find a solid home, however that looks to you. I think that you are going to start listening to your gut intuition a lot more, and also focusing on your spirituality a lot more as well. So if you like these type of readings, I hope that helped. Do smash that like button, share, comment, subscribe, and do maybe share this with a friend who might be in need of doing some shadow work as well, or interested in that. Let me know what you think about my readings, if you should want to. Much love to you, much safety. I know you can do this. I definitely know you can do this. You have everything you need, even if you feel like you have nothing. That clairaudient will get you out of every tricky situation. And it's just, don't be like the humans, be more like navigating on your intuition, okay? So if you sense danger, bolt, move, get out of the way. Much love to you, and namaste. Hi, pile number 3. If you chose this reading, this is for thee. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Whether you're brand new or you are a repeat offender, all is welcome here, especially if you like to do some inner work. But if you just like to look, that's fine too, right? So if you chose pile 3, we have the Ghost of the Pumpkin Patch. Count your blessings. So this is a shadow work that will unlock the greatest progress for you. And we'll find out a bit more about this. This adorable and forlorn little figure is almost transparent, so still and quiet that you may overlook her, thinking you have just seen a wisp of mist go trailing past. But when really all the time this little ghost is silently standing before you, gently reminding you of something very important. That is soon time will have that it soon will be time to harvest again, and that the ghost of harvest missed in the past will come back to haunt you if you do not take your time and look around you right now. She's not invisible, and she's always there, a reminder that seasons turn, that the harvest must be brought in, and that those who stay with the earth a while are not always here to haunt you negatively. They are to help you till their work is done. This little ghost loves her misty home, adores appearing to you when you have forgotten your blessings and your rights, and appears exactly at the right time in your life when you've nearly forgotten how lucky you are. So this is what she says. Something that is a blessing is being overlooked. It appears cloaked and seems almost invisible. You must stand in your field, that is to say, your life, and look around you and see all that has given you, all that has been given to you again, and give thanks for it. You're forgetting how much you truly have and how much you will have again and again. My time is the harvest. It is now your time to bring in or harvest the joy and love of what you have so much of, and share your abundance. Something precious is all about you, but it has become so familiar that you can barely see it anymore. It is such a fixture in your life that familiarity, I could never say this word, familiarity has bred, if not contempt, a kind of blindness. Oh my gosh, my stomach's talking too. The beautiful little ghost is in the pumpkin patch and asking you very gently to see the abundance all around you and to appreciate that while you are in the physical form, there's so much you can enjoy. She wishes for you to harvest what is yours now, and also to take steps to call in any debts. There can be outstanding money issues associated with this card, and share the bounty. Do not let anyone cheat you, and know that you don't own a single thing in truth. It will all pass through your hands. But still, ironically, these things you have earned through your hard work are worth protecting. They're not too small, they're not too ordinary. You have more material wealth than you think, so please do count your blessings every day. I'm going to let my dog out because he's, again, whining. Sorry. Okay, out. So we're going to ignore his is consistent knocks to come in and out because it's distracting. But I want to point out too, look at how destitute almost this looks. It's almost like, yeah, there's a field back here, who knows what that is. And maybe perhaps everybody's already harvested all the good stuff. And you could be feeling like there's really not much around you. I live in Arizona, so the desert pretty much looks like that, right? I just want to say without that, perhaps we get so used to our surroundings that we don't even notice, okay, well, there's a paved driveway here, and I'm not wrestling and wrangling, and I have a vehicle. We're not, during the times of pilgrims, or most of us don't have a wagon and a buggy, or a buggy and horses to deal with, or rely upon for transportation, or we have jobs or the ability to even lift our own hands and feed ourselves. Just being grateful for the fact that we can walk, that most of us have shoes, or that we even have feet to be able to stand up on. I'm grateful that we have ears that we can listen with and mouths that we can speak, but just a general gratitude about us. And so it could be that you're just feeling kind of lackluster, kind of blah, like nothing is really happening, good or bad. You're just like a little bit feeling stagnant or bored. And so the shadow work that is going to move, that's going to unlock the greatest progress for you, is getting, counting your blessings. Yeah, writing down things that you're grateful for. But I also see this here, the number 1 is, and this light flickering is confirming it, this is like a new beginning. So taking stock, taking inventory, if you will, of what it is that you have, that's actual assets, that are actual blessings, even the clean air that we breathe. Not everybody is privy to that at this point in time. I'm just going to say it's the very small things that we need to be grateful for. Just this morning I was looking out and looking at the birds, and they're just so freaking happy, and it makes me happy that they're happy. So small things like that will really have an ability to kind of lift up your vibe as well, get you out of this feeling of kind of like boredom. The next thing that I'm seeing right here actually is a ton of air. So there could be a situation that is ending, because obviously we have 1, the 10 reduces to 1 as well. And so I'm going to say that this is a time when you could be looking at things and feeling like you absolutely have nothing, you've been leveled, all of your efforts have gone to naught. Maybe you put your heart, your blood, sweat, tears, and everything else into something. And it just has not panned out. It turned into dust. And the fact that hopefully you have your health, and whatever stage and whatever that looks like to you should be of great reassurance. This could be a time when you're feeling greatly like betrayed, stabbed in the back, rendered, leveled down to the point where you feel like maybe things have been done to you that were uncalled for. You've been stabbed in the back. You could have people that are, talking crap about you, and feeling like not only did they just ruffle your feathers, but they actually tore them out of your body. And so it could be a period where you're not only super bored, but you're just leveled inside. And even I'm seeing in despair, okay? Some of you guys are going through this process right now, where it is a process of grieving. You could be undergoing letting go, things of letting go, things that really perhaps you wanted, that you gave a lot of emotional energy to, that you really valued. I mean, these pearls, nobody can see them, but pretty much her and the little seahorse. And it could be even this conscious, something that you heard that really devastated you. It could be something about your home, because this little creature lives in this little conch shell. Whatever the case may be, and it's a situation that has ended, caused you a lot of grief, and I feel like you're still in mourning. For some of you guys, this can go really deep. This can go like really far back, because when we're focused on the 5 of water, typically that means that we're focused on the 3 of cups that happened before. The times that were joyful, the times that were fun, that we used to get together when things were smooth, if this is a relationship. then we're focused on the good times and how we used to pop bottles and just relax and chill, and when we got along before things turned ugly or things changed. Now, some of you guys could have experienced a loss of a loved one, and for that, I'm deeply sorry. There are definitely no words to really, help with that. That's just going to be a grieving process here. So you could have, and for one or two of you, I heard the loss of a pet as well. And so I want to say that even this kind of seems like two separate shells, and I feel like you were kind of breaking through one major thing and then one other, not minor, but the two on top of each other, two big losses, just really leveled you. And I feel like you're in despair, all in your emotions. It's going to be really helpful. The practical application is to get out and get grounded, touching Mother Earth, touching a tree, or allowing nature to come into your life some way, shape, or form, taking up gardening, and even speaking your grief and talking about it with a professional therapist or a friend, trusted friend, or just simply speaking it to a pet or to Mother Earth, and going out to the beach and just kind of unleashing your own emotional furies can really be cleansing and beneficial to you as well. Okay, I want to point out that when we're looking and focused on the Three of Cups, all the good old times, or the times when you felt were your best, we tend to kind of only focus on the good times and not focus on what led up to this betrayal, this hurt, this whatever this is, and this loss, these major losses. I keep hearing the word death. For some of you guys, you did lose loved ones, and yet you still have these pearls in front of you. So the grieving has to, I just looked up, it's 11 o'clock, 11 on my timer, and so it's, you're getting all ones. You could be seeing 111. If you are, look at the reading I did on the numbers, numbers 111 and things like that. But this is an affirmation that once you're able to let go of some of this grief, or to move through it, because you can't medicate it to overcome. That is just a bad idea. I've been there, done that, by the way, not a judgment. It's going to help you to be able to see the two cups that stand before you, that you will be able to see people who are like you in mind, body, and soul in some ways, that you can really commune with, that you really have a connection with, that get you, and vice versa. So there is actually major hope, because with the Two of Cups, this is talking about a soulmate, a real soul connection. And with that, I'm actually seeing almost like, I don't know what this is, it looked like a wreath to me. So I feel like there is an ending, or you're in the middle of, towards the tail end of an ending here as well. Okay, so that's why it's important to count your blessings and to be able to see, if you lost a job, then to be able to see that you're taking those skill sets elsewhere, and that you can actually do better, because you have something that has run out of joy, run out of hope and optimism, and you have the ability to take those skills and take those talents and experiences and go elsewhere with them and do something different that is emotionally fulfilling, that's more connected with you, who you want, and what it is that you need. Okay, so your practical application, let's see, how should we do this, please? Show me now. Convention. Okay, so it could be that this is talking about stability, about having the four corners set, kind of like your stability, what makes you feel stable, what makes you feel content. Again, I got a lot of herbs and a lot of trees and things like that. So it could be that perhaps you need to stabilize your own moods, your own emotions, and some of that honestly is just going to be, you're going to have to cry it out and let out the floodgates. Because repressing, I just call it leakage. I would wind up crying at work at inopportune times. So better pick the time when you can actually just grieve in private, or grieve in a way that you feel protected and safe, and you have the time to do it. Convention has a lot to do with this, and notice is the number 10, so you are nearing an ending of a cycle and beginning of a new one. So it's all about what lends stability to you right now, what is true for you, what is stability for you. And I would definitely head that way. I would write down things like whether a garden makes me feel peaceful, or trees, or the ocean, or having, you know, a set amount of money aside lends me peace or stability. I heard for some of you guys going back to bricks and sticks. So if you're living the van life or RV life or traveling or a nomad in some way, shape, or form, maybe you want to go back home or to a home or have a sticks and bricks home in order to feel more stable, whatever that looks like to you. And the practical way, practical application would be jotting down what makes me feel stable and just write those down, whatever that is. That is the way for you to actually focus on what is going to be helpful and manifest this new beginning, because you have new beginning everywhere. It could be love. I keep hearing loss of life, so I feel like somebody did lose their life. I don't know what's going on here. This could be going back home. I'm getting a ton of energy on my crown chakra as well. Practical applications for this new beginning, please. For my pot, number 3, show me now. Charity. So it could be a good idea even to look at charity and accept charity if that is something that fits your story. So perhaps it's looking at the Salvation Army and how they can help, and whether it's home or hearth and things like that, how they can help you get on your feet, whether it's, you know, rehab programs or different programs for like people of domestic violence and finding them a home or moving forward, or it could be even situations where people have gotten out of jail and they need a new start and things like that. I would definitely start looking for charity, and what that, you know, it's good for all of us to give. That will lend you stability in these places. So maybe that's why this is saying look at traditional places. Like if home is stable for you, like where you grew up with your parents, maybe it's time to move back home for a couple of months until you feel more at peace or you're in a better situation, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever the case may be. I want to tell you that definitely you have angelic help in the realms, that I feel like even you are a protector. You're protecting perhaps children, or there are children involved in this scenario, and that you want to move them to better circumstances and move them away from danger. For others of you, this could be experiencing grief and loss and needing to donate the belongings of a loved one that has passed or crossed over, or letting go of your own furnishings and your own home and things like that in order to move to a different stage in life. And those are really, really deep and difficult things to do. And so I hope that you have maybe some emotional support. Somebody can be next to you, kind of supporting you while you undergo this process, if that is your story, okay? And letting go of those things at this time is going to help you remove yourself from a situation that has ended and into something totally new and a lot more stable for you. I heard grief counseling, things like that can really be of assistance. They have some great counselors out there for you. Even groups, free groups that you can join, okay? Practical, okay, thank you. So this one just jumped out. And it's extremism, the number 8. Gosh, I mean, this almost screams domestic violence situation. I don't know what's going on here. And again, something might be in here for you for pile number 2. Maybe somebody put their hands on you, or somebody has tried to overpower you in some way. Somebody became dogmatic and violent, or need to control your every move or something. But this person is waiting. It's almost like, well, you're committed to me. You signed this paper. You know, you're mine. You're my wife, or you're my husband, or whatever. I control whatever the case may be. And this person has been thriving under this circumstance of like control, manipulating, being dogmatic, whatever the case may be, or wanting for you to do things a certain way. And here you are in the desert. This is all barren for you. Once again, I'm talking about that initial card that we got. okay, in the pumpkin patch, and looking at harvest. It's like everything that you've done has led to nothing. It's kind of disappeared in the dust. So there's a need to avoid extremism or people that are extremists. And I am not judging. I am, unfortunately, I will say that I'm definitely an extremist. It's all or nothing with me, and it has led to a lot of heartbreak for me as well. I'm going to say that you have a lot of intuition as well. If you can kind of release some of that emotion, you'll get clarity. You're going to be able to see from above, just like that bird that is diving to take that toupee off of that guy. You are able to really uncover and see things for what they really and truly are. So once again, do get professional help if this is your story. For the rest of us, other people, this is a general, keep in mind, this is about cycles and returning to a cycle of extremism. It's all or nothing, and it's my way or the highway, or I want these contracts met, or I always find myself in a situation with a narcissist that feels like they need to control me, and then there's this power struggle, and there's this drama, and we do it all over again. If this is your case, I would start writing down. Your practical application is to write down any scenarios that you find, stories that repeat themselves in your life, themes that repeat themselves. For example, all of your boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever the case may be were control freaks. Okay, write down the name and use a different paper for each of those relationships, and then write down just like one word, controlling, manipulating, or narcissistic, or gaslighting, whatever the case may be. I feel like you're going to find a common thread in all this, because this is 8. It is the number of abundance, which is interesting because this reading so far is feeling like I don't have, okay? So again, this suggests that there's a lot of abundance that you're overlooking, because what you see is abundant, like perhaps living your life with this person. You want them to change, but they're almost locked in a cycle 8, number 8. Their arms almost form the number 8, and that tells me that you've been through these cycles before. There is a way out. There's a certain extremism about you that needs to be let go of. I would write down things that you feel extreme about or have been extreme about, and that way you can actually physically see tangible evidence that, yeah, you've gone all in on these cases, and then you come back to the same point over and over again. Okay, I do feel like the lack of acceptance of this contract, like if you've created, contracts with other people to treat you in a certain way or whatever, that can be broken. She's actually fighting back, and the 8 within their arms is actually releasing. But I feel like we've reached this point a couple of times before. The trick this time in the practical application is not to allow people like that back in your life, and to seek your thrills in a different manner, because this number 8 is a cycle of the obsession. We can get really high when the high is high. We can really feel euphoric when things are going super well, when we've been love bombed, things like that. And yet the downside is it loops back down, and we crash and burn emotionally, mentally, spiritually, maybe even financially, okay, for some of us. So then you have the upswing, the makeup, and I'll be good, I'll never do that again, and we're in it, you're mine, baby, that kind of a thing. This could even be a partnership at work or things like that. So however the situation fits you, think about obsessive thinking. Write down what it is that you've obsessively thought about, how that has gotten you in the hot water before, and how you wind up in a similar situation with these patterns. It's all about patterns. What you want to write down is looking at the patterns that have gone on in your life. That way you can actually unlock this number 8 embrace, and allow for the 8 to be abundance and wealth and prosperity the way it really is meant for you, not in a vicious cycle that I see here. Okay, how to do that? I happen to look down and I see resourcefulness, and look, domination. So you're super resourceful. Look at that. You have the lay of the land. You're able to see from above, getting messages, your own downloads and things like that. If you're, again, in an abusive relationship, whether it is physical, mental, emotional, get out of it. None of it is any good for you. No amount of, if you're sensitive, sorry about that, but no amount of D is going to really make this okay. You'll wind up at the same point if this is a relationship, and no amount of I'm your family member is worth this kind of drama with the power struggles and battles. So it is time that you can see things from a higher perspective, gain clarity, see the sun coming back up once again, and having the ability and the resources and being resourceful, knowing that if you have, you know, two different tools, you can sometimes put them together and create like a third one. So things are not necessarily how they are, but your resourcefulness will give you security and balance as well, which is what is needed to create and maintain your new beginning, counting your blessings, again, of what you do have. So this domination right here is just emphasizing everything that we talked about. Again, there's just some matter of control, or you're trying to control other people, whatever the case may be. This has to end. It causes battles. I mean, these two people are fighting, wrestling, wrangling, whatever the case may be. And this is for dominance, domination. So whoever wants to dominate your cause, your mind, your feelings, your resources, okay, is this has to end, because it's almost like this arm, he's breaking the other person's arm, and that is just not good at all, okay? So what has made you cry uncle in the past? How in these cycles have you given in and saying, okay, I just want to give in, I want the pain to end, so I just give in. It's easier that way. Well, it leads us back to that same cycle all over again. And if that's your story, definitely I feel for you. In order to obtain a new beginning, you need support, mental, emotional, physical. So look at your resources, look at your team around you, your spiritual team, call them in, call them for help as well. Call a therapist, and definitely get away from this danger. I would do whatever it takes to get out of the situation, because then you have order. All of a sudden things are lining up, things are very clear. Whatever it is that you planted all of a sudden starts to grow, starts to sprout, starts to, you know, this is like rosemary. You can have an affinity for rosemary, or a need, or maybe your name is Rosemary, I don't know, or a need to work with the herb rosemary and infuse some oils in there and things like that. Smelling rosemary could be really helpful to you at this point in time. But most of what I see is a number 6. I feel like victory over this cycle. If you do the work. Now, overcoming a situation like this is brute force. So it's going to take a lot of cleverness, a lot of planning, a lot of looking at your own resources to get out of it, and a lot of outside help, I feel, for pile number 3. So, yeah, and look, that is a confirmation. So with this order, you're just going to be focused on practicality, new beginnings. It is number 10. Yes, with endings there are new beginnings, but you're transforming so many different things. I feel like even body, mind, and spirit will be totally different 6 months from now than what you see currently for yourself. So if this is your story, you'll be focusing on practicality, on things that are solid, on new beginnings, and it will actually really be abundant. You'll be reaping that harvest that you worked so hard for, instead of working hard for nothing, for emotional, mental, physical abuse, whatever the case may be. Okay. Publicity. Okay. So with that, this is peeking out. I'm going to take it, even though your reading is longer. And this is something that, look, this star is highlighted. You have angels that are really helping and supporting you. If you hear my stomach rumbling, I apologize. A lot of blue. You're going to be speaking your truth as well. You're going to be feeling a lot more lighter and brighter as you see that things start changing for you. And I have the sun here. So a lot of changes, a lot of order, a lot of getting kind of basic, like I feel like just planting new things and then watching them grow, and for once somebody else is not around to stomp them and snuff the life out of them and snuff your mojo, okay, your dream. Okay, this is really the last thing that I'm reading for you. Achievement. So the number 10 is achievement, and I'm blown away. All number 1s basically reduces to 1, new beginnings. This is allowing things to come for you, reaching for them, even publicity. Maybe you write a book on what you've undergone, what's transpired, or you take this to public forum and form a support group, or whatever the case may be. Join a support group, whatever the case may be. And this is even a flag. So you could be somebody that winds up taking up causes to help other people that are like you. For some of you, I heard neurodivergent. Might be for one or two of you. Yeah, so you have achievement, and this is what will happen. This is the outcome if you actually, if you do the work. So I understand grief. Allow Mother Nature to help you with the grief as well. I know it sounds weird, but get in there, get into some soil, some nature, whatever the case may be. It will help process out that old energy. Even jiggling, which sounds really weird, but jiggling your body will help remove all of that old air, old energy, stagnancy from out within your body as well. Of course, doing yoga can really help. So those are all practicals to help you with your future outcome. Much luck to you, much healing, and namaste.